Alright, folks, part 9 of Diddy's Conquest. So we're gonna knock out this boss and get on to Gloomy Gulch, World 5, and that's World 5 of 7, so we're getting there. We've been in World 4 for a while now, so let's get that taken care of. Thing about it is, before we progress to World 5, I'm going to do one of the Lost World stages. So I figured, even though this isn't going to be a 100% run, seeing as I'm kind of giving it like a somewhat efforted jaunt, I kind of felt like showing at least a couple of these bonus stages, so at least if you are watching my playthrough, you can at least see what some of these things look like. So I don't necessarily feel like there should be any disgruntledness about me not having a 100% run. And really, I suspect that this project is going to get lost just within like the complete layout of how many people who have done this. Especially that this game has been being played on here since like 2008, 2010. But I just would kind of have to say, you know, I still appreciate a good playthrough of this. I can watch, if I find someone who has like 200 or 300 followers, I'll still watch them, even though I've seen, you know, dozens of playthroughs of this game. Some people won't. I mean, depending upon who you talk to, some people will not. Some people only want the ones that did it like 13 years ago, but I don't really care. I mean, I enjoy this game. That's the thing. I come back to this game. I haven't played this game in several years, but I come back to this game just because it is a blast. I mean, this is what you call a classic video game. I mean, this has stood the test of time, and I mean, minus like maybe the people who are like the youngest of Generation Z or younger, I would probably say that it's an easy game to have like a connection with. The hitbox on this game, you notice how I'm taking damage from some of this stuff. There's going to be some times I was kind of getting a little bit aggy about some of this stuff just because, you know, the hitbox on some of this crap is just a little bit too precision point, and it's starting to piss me off. But these are, of course, like, here's the situation. The game is really not that tough in the normal quest, but they do up the ante in the Lost World stages, so these are tougher than pretty much even World 6 in some cases. But yeah, so that's just, I lost my train of thought as far as what I was talking about, but yeah, just to kind of say, like, it's enjoyable, it stood the test of time, and you know, this is, I mean, I definitely don't think that people of today should forget about the Super Nintendo. I mean, this is a 2D machine that still has its gems to it. I mean, honestly, I do like Xbox One, PS4, but I really do prefer games like these way more, just because there's just something about I mean, they just had something called distinction, and that's really the thing. The level design was good, the ideas were fresh, and it just, you know, you have to look at it. I do feel like a lot of games today can take an example. That's not to sound like like a boomer or something like that. You just have to really say, you know, things were, I mean, that was the thing. I mean, you look at it and you have to look just to be able to say how many good games come out a year, and that'll tell you the example. Because back in these days, you got at least 15, 20 good games a year that you liked, but with Xbox One, it's just like, I think some people are still playing Fortnite as if it came out like last week or something like that, you know, some of those type games. The Call of Duty games don't really last that long either. Like, I don't know if people are still talking about Cold War that came out last winter, so. But yeah, I'm kind of rambling a bit. I mean, it's a decent conversation to have, but I don't feel like being cagey about games right now. I mean, I'm just trying to think of what other things to kind of bring up as of this point. You know, I mean, really, I've got my next game mapped out. I bought the game that I'm going to do after this game yesterday, so it's getting shipped in the mail. So I mean, you're not going to probably see it until like late September or October, but yeah, I'm definitely going to bustle together that game, and hopefully I can beat that game. I actually haven't beaten that game before. It's a PS1 game, and I want to start doing things besides just the Super Nintendo. And that's kind of the main thing is I know obviously, like, I mean, and that's the thing is, you know, I've done Blackthorn, I've done the first Donkey Kong Country, I did Return of the Jedi, I did you know, Street Fighter, so I've done quite a few games. I mean, the Super Nintendo really only has how many games that are not just good, but are not next to impossible to beat. And that's kind of the thing. I could do Super Mario World, but the thing about it is most of the games I have left to actually play through are just like RPGs. So I'm tempted. I mean, I want to do Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, but I tried that before on my vlog channel, and I got waterlogged about it, so I don't want to get distracted and get like 80% done and then just never beat the game. So I would like to kind of have the concept of being able to beat that game, because it is a simple game and it is kind of an action adventure game, but it's just the fact that I just lose interest. I don't know. I mean, I can do this game. I don't know. I don't know what it is about games that you kind of played when you were younger that it's so much easier to kind of do. I mean, I don't think that Mystic Quest is a bad game by any means. It's one of the best games for the machine, but for some reason I just always get kind of distracted and then I lose interest. And that happened with Final Fantasy VII, and I don't know, I mean, I hope that there's no one out there that's like, you know, waiting patiently or impatiently for hopes that I may distantly do that game entirely, because it's probably not going to happen. But I mean, it is a fun jaunt, but I mean, those type games are just massive, and it basically is intended just for, like, I mean, you do have to have time and actual interest. I think that's like the main thing, is just making sure your interest doesn't break. But you know, the difference, I mean, if I had been like 19 or something, I would have played probably Final Fantasy VII every single day. But you know, I'm you know, halfway done with being 32, so this is kind of the main thing there. But but still, I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, Final Fantasy VII is in a lot of ways like one of the premier PS1 games. So don't let, you know, my jet laggedness, you know, it's just the way that life has been. I mean, if you happen to have Instagram and you follow like musicians, you know enough about the lifestyle that goes along with some of those people, just to kind of say you just get used to like the twerking and the music blasting and the money being spent and the liquor and that sort of stuff. I mean, even if you don't have like the same life as like a musician who has like 13 million followers, it's still, I mean, you can have your own variation of it. All it takes is just going to Walmart and spending $150. I mean, they do have Ciroc there, and they do have you know, Hypnotic there and that sort of stuff, and Red Bull and Monster and Mountain Dew and all those things, you know. Basically, you know, red plastic cups for like beer pong and stuff. So you get the concept of it. I mean, I frequent Walmart. That's the thing. If you don't know what Walmart is, if you're not from America, it's a grocery store. But yeah, I like going there. I enjoy going there. I mean, it used to be a 24-hour store before coronavirus, and that really pisses me off, because I was the type of person who would walk into Walmart at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And that was fine. I mean, there weren't people there. I mean, that's like the easiest time to really initiate conversation with others, is just because there's not the hustle and bustle of like eavesdroppers and just overly friendly and peppy morning people or anything like that. You just kind of, I mean, most people kind of assume if you're having to get groceries at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're either some sort of stoner or you just don't want the socializing. That's kind of the thing. But you know, because of COVID, you can't go to Walmart at 3 in the morning anymore. It really annoys me. Cobalt and I used to do that. You know, we would hit up Walmart and I'd just be like, hell, you know, now they close at 10:30 or 11. It's just doofy. But so Yeah, the theme with this world, if you're trying to get me to talk more about the game, is these stages are all ghoulish. I mean, that's the thing about it being called, like, Gloomy Gulch, is a lot of, I mean, I kind of like the concept because it wasn't just a forest world. It kind of had, like, a binary, I think that's the right word. I don't really use the term binary that much, but I think it means, like, dual, you know, a binary kind of combination of a theme, because it could have just been a forest world. They did that in the first Donkey Kong Country, but it has kind of like a depressed and ghoulish kind of thing, and it's a nice theme for this game. I mean, I definitely feel like, I mean, it's not every game that will have like a depressed kind of world and that sort of stuff. It's interesting. It's probably one of the more interesting worlds in this whole game. I mean, obviously, I do wish that there was a little bit more script. I wish that there was more talking. I mean, the third Donkey Kong Country has more, like, interaction with characters, but this, for the most part, you're just on your own. I mean, minus the other monkeys who will, you know, save your game or allow you to win some extra lives. I mean, it's just, I really do wish that there were characters in the stages to kind of interact with, but then it'd probably be too RPG-like, so... But, yeah. I mean, obviously, it's tough complaining about things the way I complain about them in this game, just because I can't really fault the way that things were back in 1995, just because, I mean, this was state-of-the-art back when this game came out. I mean, everyone was gossiping about how, you know, crisp this game was, so... But, you know, along with it, the PlayStation was out, and it had games like Resident Evil and Tomb Raider out around this time. So it was just a good time. I mean, you look at it, and it's like, hell, you know, you played this game back in the winter, and by the spring, you were playing Resident Evil. It's a good thing to kind of go to. I mean, both games really kick ass. That's kind of the thing there. I'm almost thinking about doing a Resident Evil playthrough. I just don't have terrible amounts of experience with it. I tried playing it a few times like a couple years ago, but once again it was kind of the same thing with how I lost interest with Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. I don't know, I mean, I need something real kind of eclectic to kind of keep my interest and just get me through. Like, somehow Super Punch-Out did that, and I don't know what it was. That was just a game that was just addicting, but I need something that kind of jumps off the page, and by that I mean is demanding. That's probably the right word that I'm trying to say here, is something that's demanding, like actually wants access to your time, you know. But the thing about Resident Evil is there's just not very many characters from what I had seen the first maybe hour and a half into the game. I mean, there's like, I'm trying to think, there was like some cop, there was like, I know there were a couple dead cops or something, but I don't know, it's been probably since 2020 since I've watched a playthrough of that game, so I don't really remember, but I know that like the raccoon, I think the name of their cop group, that there's like multiple cops that are in that mansion that they're trying to figure out what's going on. So I mean, yeah, it definitely is a clever theme though. I mean, it really nailed horror in a lot of ways. It deserves to have the money that it has, so. But yeah, that's not the PS1 game that I'm going to do that comes after this game. It's a different one. But I'm just going to have to, I really do want to start messing with more PS1 games, so it's going to happen. I'm thinking about getting Driver. I really like the playthrough of that game I saw, so I'm going to have to try that out. Alright, so we're basically at the end of our 10-year damn near. So, stay tuned for part 10, and as of the next episode, this project will be longer than the first Donkey Kong Country. And we're only in World 5. We still have another world and a half to do after these next couple videos. So, alright, subscribe for more fun. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful night. See you in part 10.